So today we have a very, very able resource person, a seasoned quantity surveyor, QS Olayemi Usman, who is very digitally oriented and very passionate about implementation of digital construction and the need for sustainable building. He's currently pursuing his MSc in BIM-enabled sustainable building at the University of Northampton, England, where he focuses on the calculation of embodied and operational carbon emissions and better alternatives to reduce energy consumption and carbon emissions, which are in line with the United Nations goals of net zero. QS Olayemi Usman is the co-founder of a tech solution company in Africa that helps companies, individuals, and educational sector in the trainings and implementation of the building information modeling. His team has successfully trained over 1,500 professionals and students in the AECO sector. We are so glad to have you join us, QS Olayemi, and we cannot wait to hear and digest all you have for us with regards to the BIM and all that you've been doing in that space. So without wasting much of our time, I'm going to hand over the microphone to you and allow you to do your thing. QS Olayemi, over to you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Just proceed.
okay, yeah, good
So
evening.
yes,
Sorry.
just one more thing. Apologies, please. So if you have any comments, the Q&A platform is very active. So please drop in your questions. And if you have any issues or challenges, we would proceed to respond. Thank you. So Kesalami, sorry about that. Over to you now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and I'm privileged to join you this evening and wherever you are. And I'm hoping that we are going to have good time this evening. And this is my second time actually doing this. I did it last year with same body, and that's waxing, and I'm privileged to do this again this year. And I hope that you follow through and you learn something out of these 3 days sessions. And the way we run training is whenever I'm training and whenever I'm saying some things, if you have any questions, you can just raise up your hands or pop in questions and call my attention to it so that I can answer your questions, because I practically understand that this is not just like a webinar. This is more of a workshop where you learn what we are training you. And I just want to assume that do we all have the softwares currently? Sorry, Chris, Demide, do you have us, do all the students that rather have the softwares?
Yes, it was sent out. I'm sure most of them do, but let's just give them a few minutes to respond if they do not.
Okay, please, I
But
just
it
want
was
to,
sent out to everyone.
yeah, I just want to know because I don't, I was told this is no more of a seminar. So if it's a workshop, I practicalize some things. I call on one of the participants. Okay, you can actually show me, or that shows we are learning something. It will not just be like I'm the one talking all the time. So
No,
I just
it
want
was
to,
sent out. Most people should have it. And I'm saying most because maybe some people may have some challenges downloading it.
okay,
So yes,
okay.
you can proceed with it being a workshop. And if they have any questions or challenges, they can put it in the comment section and we would attend to it.
Okay, great. So just to buttress, I'm the kind of person that I love responses because it boosts my morale whenever I'm teaching, so that I can know that okay, I'm just talking to myself. So at least probably you can represent the everybody to respond, or probably people will just switch on their microphone when it's needed. Okay, yeah. So this is
Yeah, yes, I think you can also they can also make comments on the Q&A, which you can also see,
yeah,
just
I
to
can
know
see
that
that.
people are responding. So please, everyone, like he said, he likes the class to be very engaging. So let's see your responses in the comment
Yeah,
section
please, if
when we ask.
yeah, I just want to know is if everybody is online, please just put something on the comment section like fire any emojis. I can know that we are together. Any fire, any emoji ready. Wait, if there's anything that you want us to do. But I always want to see some of your Yeah, I can see some comment dropping right now.
The comments are coming through. So yes,
Yeah,
you are not
okay.
alone.
Yeah, just wanted to be sure. Okay, okay, thank you, thank you. I can see Faisal Sani and Adesoji. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Oh, I can really say a lot now. Okay, thank you. So without wasting much time, I'll just give you a brief introduction about myself. Currently, my name is Simple Olayemi Utsman. I currently completed my MSc in University of Northampton in England. I currently work with a consulting firm in England, and also I'm an advocate of sustainability, and I'm advocate of net zero actions, where I am the ambassador with zero. So the course outline for this training is just going to be few things. We are going to be looking at introduction of Navisworks. We're going to be understanding the panels of in Navisworks, understanding the breakdown, selection tree breakdowns. We are going to be setting up projects in Navisworks, and also we are going to be understanding how we can link this into to form like a BSMM4 catalog, because I understand that we are familiar, all of us are familiar, we are familiar with BSMM4. So we are going to be looking at how we can create in something they call catalog on Navisworks, that we can easily link it with BSMM4. So we are going to be carrying out quantifications. So for these 3 days, we are going to be carrying out quantifications for architectural models. We are going to be carrying out quantifications for structural models. We are going to be carrying out quantifications for mechanical models. I hope the time permits us. And also, we are going to be looking at the other features of Navisworks, we talked about clash detections, and also we have other use as for as well as such as simulation, that's 4D simulations. I understand that we are QSs, we are focused on this, but the truth is that QS rules are changing in the Western world, and QS rules are changing actually in Nigeria. Before leaving Nigeria, I was working as BIM specialist and a quantity surveyor, where I use softwares like Navisworks to run quantifications for more than 8-story buildings. Sky, like max, the one I did last was about 16 floors, and everything was done with Navisworks and Revit. So QS rules are changing, and we need to understand that quantity bill of quantities was just one of the major role of quantity surveyors. There are other roles that we can do, and we find ourselves that we waste much time in doing calculations like this, which is not really cool for us whenever we are doing our measurement. So these are the little course outline we are going to be looking at for the 3 days programs, and I just hope you able to follow through. And if you have any questions, you can just pop in the questions. I might not see it directly, but I just hope someone will call my attention to it, so that I can always come back and answer your questions. Okay, so before moving on to Navisworks, there's something about Navisworks is a software which uses that 2D or 3D. But the truth is that you can't just anybody can just give you modules on Navisworks. Some um, my architect don't use Navisworks to design. Navisworks is not a designing tools. So people get drawing and modules, not just drawings now. People get modules either various softwares like ArchiCAD, Revit architectures. We have other Tesla softwares from the engineering, Prota structures, which are structural engineering tools. So when we get drawings from all these things, there's a need for us to know how we can convert this module, so that it can be useful in Navisworks, because there's a problem in Navisworks in terms of that if you have a modules and you don't have a right an interoperability platform to convert it, you might have loss of data. And we all understand that in the digital world, data is very, very important. And if you have any loss of data, you are doing a mess job, and which no clients will want to take that from you. So we need to understand how to use some basic tools like Revit, because there's no how you want to use Navisworks without having a proper a basic understanding of Revit as well. So that's why I've tried to structure this class that we are going to go from at least having a basic understanding of Revit first before we move to Navisworks. Because when you just jump into Navisworks, you find out that you get some models sometimes and you don't know how to interpret it. So there's no how you want to use Navisworks without understanding how to use Revit, because Navisworks will have you show you the 3D, but Revit you can see some breakdowns, you can see more sectionings, you can see your plans, you can see different layouts of your drawings, so that you can easily interpret it when it comes to Navisworks, because you can only measure what you understand. If you don't understand, and it's so cool that we are all quantity surveyors, we have the basic understanding of measurement, which is so cool. So I just want to be sure that I'm not just saying any. Okay, someone is raising out Justice. Okay, Chuku, sorry, you can unmute yourself and say something. Justice. Okay, Chuku, if I pronounce it right. Okay, are you saying something, sir? Okay, okay. I think their hand is up, is down. Okay, so I've already opened some various tabs on my screen, which you can see currently now. Actually, I'll just go to the Revit button, and now to upload models on Revit. So you can see their models is just like drawings in 3D, and these are done by architects. We are all familiar with that. There's no need for me to be going back on that. We are all familiar with that. So someone asking the questions. Okay. In the course of the training, we are taught some basic. Okay, great. Since you have understanding of Revit, I think maybe I should just move away from it, right? Is that what we are all agreeing on? Oh, somebody answer me. I can't hear you. Sorry. Someone say that. Can you all hear me? Someone say in the course of training, we were taught some basic of Revit too. So I'm just thinking, so shouldn't I just worry more on this, or I should just move on with the Navisworks? No, start from Revit. No, please. Not everyone attended our sections. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, great, great, great. Okay, that's fine. So once we uploaded our drawings on Revit, so we can easily either see it in a 3D models right here, or someone saying something. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Or on this left-hand panels, which is called a property browser, which is called the project browser here, you can see your floor plans. So you can see the ground floor plans. This is just a simple duplex. You can see the ground floor plans, and when you double click on your ground floor plans, you can see the plans, and you can have proper understanding, because it's more of like a 2D that we are all familiar with. So now look at it. This is the first plan, and this is the roof plans, and this is what's the site plan. So this give you more understanding of the floor layout of your drawings, which you're all familiar with. So you can also toggle back to get the 3D, which is, you can see a little house icon here. So little icon, it can give you a 3D view of it, and you can always have a good feel of your buildings by scrolling around it, holding down your shift key and your scroll button on your mouse. You press it down, and you can always view it and zoom in and zoom out. This give you a proper feeling of your building, because if you don't visualize, if you don't have a proper visualization, you can't be a proper QS. That is it. But now we are having a tool that can give us a proper visualizations, which make us to have a better decisions whenever we are doing our measurements. Let me hide this. Okay. Yeah, you can all see my Revit screen right now, right? Can we all see my Revit screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
on now.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that actually. So what I was saying before, it's this is your Revit platform here, and you have your 3D when you uploaded modules on Revit. And on this project browser, this place is called the project browser. On your left hand panel, you have the project browser here. And on your project browser, you can see your floor plans, you can see your ceiling plans, and you can see your 3D views, and you can see your elevation here, which is your north, south, east, and west. So just like we are familiar, we know that normally before we always have three different pages of 3D. This is just similar to like that as well. So let's say I want to check on my ground floor right now. I'll double click on it, and I can zoom in and zoom. I can see that this is the kitchen, which is of 15 square meters, the bedrooms, the dining rooms. Same thing, I can do that for my first floor. So this gives me a normal basic knowledge about drawings, which we are all familiar with. Same thing about roof. I can see my roof. And also I mentioned earlier on that if you decide to see, you want to check the 3D, there is this an home button here, which is like an house, a little house. You can toggle on it to check your 3D mode. And also I also mentioned that if you wanted to just check around your buildings and you want to scroll in and scroll out, you can use your scroll button to scroll in and scroll out. And also probably you want to go around your buildings, you can always use your shift button and use your scroll button to always go around. So this give you a proper view of how you are seeing your buildings. Just let me check if there's any questions for now. Please go ahead. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that is that about Revit in little terms. But now, sometimes like when I'm doing some MEP measurements, most times I always like to do it on Revit. So how can you do measurements? How can you do little takeoff on Revit as well? Because I started using Revit first for my takeoff before I was trying to use Navisworks. So Revit is also a takeoff tool. Is also helps in takeoff. It's not really a takeoff tool, but it helps in creating something like called schedules. No softwares, Revit or Navisworks cannot prepare bills directly for you. They can help you to get a major aspect of your bill of quantity, which is the quantities. So when you have your quantities, every consultant, every contractors have their various rates. Anybody can defend their rate. And the major thing that should be constant wherever you go in any arbitration or any cases is the quantities, because length times breadth is still going to give us a square meters. So now let's say I want to quickly get my schedules, probably my floor, my wall areas from these particular modules. Now it is easier for me to get instead of me doing okay the guards, I'm deducting corners, I'm deducting T junctions, I'm deducting openings, I'm deducting all those things to avoid all those stress. So that's why 3D helps in order for you to get your quantities faster. So let's say I want to get it right now. What you just need to do on these top panels here, you have the architectural, structural, everything here. You don't need to bother yourself as a QS. I don't bother myself as a QS. So what you just need to do is just to check what is very important for you. It's for majorly, let's say you come to this view here. So when you come to this view here, under this view, please, I just want to be sure, am I not too fast? Am I too fast? Are we all together? If you are not okay. Are we together? Am I too fast? Am I going a good pace? Hello, class.
I think you're fine.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless. Thank you. God bless. Okay, so now let's say I want to do a quick schedules for my wall area. Now, what I just need to do here, let me minimize this. What I just need to do here is come to view. So under my view, come to schedules. So under my schedules, you can see schedules and quantities. You can see graphical column, material takeoff, sheet list, and the likes. So what you just need to do is just come to schedules and quantities. Okay, so when it comes to schedules and quantities, this software is being built that every project will surely be either an architectural modules, structural modules, MEP modules. So you can see on the filter list here, we have architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical, and piping. And what we have on our screen is actually an architectural model. So the architectural model is automatically toggled out there. So what you just need to do, okay, what am I going to do? And you can see you have various items here. You have casework, you have ceilings, you have columns, you have curtain walls, you have doors and the likes. So what I'm interested to do here is what my wall. So I scroll down to where my wall is. So this is my wall right now. This is my wall right now. Yeah, so I double click. Oh, this is Windows, sorry. Let me do that again. Okay, schedules and quantities. So let me go to wall. So click on my wall. So now you can see that I have wall under here. So what am I looking for in my walls? Majorly, I'll be looking for what material is that walls. I'll be looking for the areas of that walls, and I'll be looking for probably the thickness of that wall. Is someone saying something? If you and okay, same thing. Okay, so I'll be looking for either the areas of the walls, the descriptions of the walls, the material of that wall. So now the first item here is to use the area of the wall. So it's either you double click on this or you use these two arrow. This is to add it into this schedules field, or this is to remove it into this out of this schedules field. So the next item here, probably I'll be looking at the description of the walls. I want to know if it's a 230 walls, a 225 walls, or 100 walls, or the likes, depending on what you are doing and depending on where you are working. So this is descriptions here. Also, you can there's a default namings in Revit, which is called either the family or the family type. So at every schedules you are creating, there's a need for you to either to choose those nomenclatures, which is either the family or the family type. So now when you see functions of wall, function of wall is either internal or internal walls or external walls. And we all know, according to the way we prepare builds in Nigeria, most clients want to say, okay, what material and what is the quantity of my internal walls, what is the quantity of my external walls? So you do it. So it all depends on how the model is being done. So let's see again, what do you think that we can add to this? Okay, I think that's basically about it. We have the areas, description, and the family, and also we can always arrange it here. So I want my areas to come at last. I want my descriptions to come, let's say, second to last. So now this gives me this automatically, when I click OK, yeah, it gives me a breakdown of all my wall measurements on this particular build, on this particular module. So let me say OK here. So now you can see with just one click, I have all my areas per elements and per items upon on these particular models. So you can see I have basic walls, I have some curtain walls as well, which is being designed here. So there's a need for me to know, okay, this is not a block wall, this is a, and when you see basic wall, majorly they are block walls. So you can see these are curtain walls and the likes, and these are basic walls. So I can always export these to Excel. So for me to export this to Excel, I just need to save it as I just need to come here, come to File, Export, and where is it? You can see report here, schedules here. So when I export these schedules, it's going to give me in a text file, which I can directly open on my, okay, I think two people are raising up. Let me have your questions. Okay, everybody raising up. Okay, Femi, QS Femi, sorry, Baba. QS Femi, can you ask your question?
Sorry, please, that was a mistake.
Okay, that's a mistake. QS Adetola Adeni, are you raising up your hand? And QS Sofela Olamilekon, you're raising up your hand. Okay, I think it's a mistake. Probably you can just raise your hand. You can just drop your hand down so that it's not distract us. Okay, let me check the Q and A. Sorry?
I think all that was from the beginning when
Okay,
like
okay,
there was an issue
okay,
with
okay, okay, great.
there's no new hand raised.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is basically about how you can create little schedules, either architectural modules, either you can do doors and windows. So let's quickly do doors and windows for us to have a better recap of what we are saying here. So let's go to the 3D modules. Let's say I want to get my doors and windows in just little click. I come to my views, I come to my schedules, I come to my schedules and quantities. So let's say doors are actually under architectural module. So that is done. So I come to my doors, double click on my doors. So this is my doors. Okay. Let me have, normally I'll be needing my count here. So count is the okay, this is cost and this is counts. So I'll be needing my counts. I'll be needing my description. So you can, instead of looking it one by one, since you know what you're looking for, you can just type. So let me say description. Yeah, I'm looking for description. I'll be looking for the family and family type. So that is basic. And if probably you have the finishes, depending on the level of development that is being given to you by the architectural teams. So let's say, okay, frame type, let's say if we have any, Okay, that's basically about that. So I wasting much time. So let's click on yes here. Okay, yeah. So you can see this is basically all the doors in this particular building. You can see aluminum doors, and you can expand these. You can expand these. These are aluminum doors. This is depending on the name, integrates with the design space, and this is door swing. So depending on what they name as, the name that the architectural team has given the doors, you can always see it, and you can always export this to your Excel and put it in your bill of quantity instead of trying to count how many is in this, how many is here. So this increases our workflows and make us to focus more on more important issues as a quantity surveyor. So that's basically about how you can use Revit to get schedules out. So but our focus here now is going to be Navisworks. So now, and also if you want to convert Navisworks to Revit, what you can do, you need to ensure that whatever versions you are using, because you see how Revit, how Autodesk product works is, if I'm using a 2021 version of module of softwares, and you as an architect, you gave me a modules for of 2020, I'll be able to open it, which is okay. But if an architect is using 2021 and you as a QS are using Navisworks of 2020, you will not be able to open it. So whenever you are trying to toggle between the two softwares, you need to understand that there's a need for you to have same version of softwares. So now let's just move to Navisworks. So I've already opened Navisworks down, and it's just a simple step that by coming, if you want to put new drawings, new modules on your softwares, you just come to new here, just like a Microsoft Word, come to new, come to open, and go to the locations you have any of your models. So this we are using a simple model here, which is a which is a proposed 2-bedroom flat. This was one of a project, actually. It was a real project in Lagos, actually. So you click on any of the models which you want to, and I can also share some of these free models at the end of this class, probably for learning purposes. These are modules I've been using for training for some time. It's a free, actually. So you click on it, and you open directly. So Navisworks is user friendly, and I always say it's one of the cool tools out there that you can always look out for whenever you want to do any measurements. Let me reduce this. Okay, so now on Navisworks, you have a lot of panels, a lot of useful at the beginning. Okay, Mukhtar, you can, what's your question, please? QS Mukhtar, yeah, you can talk. And okay, you can talk, please. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, the Navisworks is now showing. I don't know if it's from my side. Good evening.
Oh, jeez. Is everyone seeing my Navisworks? Team, sorry. Can you see my Navisworks right now?
No, still not showing.
Why?
Oh, yes, it's not showing.
Okay, is this showing now?
Yes, it's showing.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so now this, like I mentioned earlier on, this is Navisworks. And when you want to get open modules on Navisworks, it's just like our normal Microsoft Word. Go to your home at the top left here, go to open. So when you click on open, you can see a lot of inbuilt models I have here. Actually, these are something that I've worked on. I can send some of these to you, like I mentioned earlier on. So this is a simple proposed 2 bedrooms. You click on it and click on open. It will bring a page like this for you. So when you bring a page like this, you can easily, one thing about I like about Navisworks is more unique in terms of you, for measurement than Revit. So that's why it's very cool for quantity surveyors. So now on Navisworks, we have a lot of important panels for you, and we have a lot of less important panels here. So on this particular place here, this is the home, and under the home you have append, and on this append, when they mention probably you can be seeing something online they called in a BIM project. In a BIM project, you can be seeing something they called a federated models. This is where it all happens. Now on this append, it just means that okay, how can I combine models together? So when you are running clash detections, there's a need for you to append your models together. That means the simple term is just to join. When you join all those things together, it's become a federated model. So you can always do that here. Join architectural models, structural model, electrical models to run any coordination test you want to do. Like I said earlier, we need to expand our mindsets. We need to expand our horizon. Quantity surveyor does not just limit to be residential and commercial. There's a lot of things that we need to open our minds to in order for us to be internationally competitive in wherever we find ourselves, because the world is more global and there's a need for us to expand our mindsets. Also, now this refresh is when you're working in a collaborative environment. Probably you're working in a real BIM project and there is an update on the architectural model. Instead of you to try to redo your measurements, you can always refresh it here, but ensure that this can only work when you're working in a collaborative environment. So also, when you come I'll be talking about the major tools here, the major tools here that is very important for us. So also when you talk about select all here, so select same here. Now as time goes on, you'll be saying that if I want to just see all my walls alone, I don't want to see anything outside walls, I can use this select. Okay, someone is saying something. Okay, still same thing. Just want to be sure. So when you talk about select same here, for example, let's say I want to see my roof alone in this building. I want to see my roof alone. I can just say, okay, let me click on this roof. Click on this roof. Select it. Okay, select everything about the roof. Hide unselected. So this is everything. This is my roof here. I can see, okay, this is how my roof is. These are my eaves. This is actually how my roof is alone. So let's say, for example, you want to go back. You can say on hide all. Let's say, for example, I want to see my block wall alone on this particular building. So I can say I will select one of them. You can see I'm only selecting one of the walls, and I can say, okay, select same. That means select all the block here. So it's selecting all, okay, that all that type of block, which is, I think it is the internal walls actually. So I can say select all, and I don't select it. So I can say that this is all my internal. This will very be useful to you when you are doing a large project, because there's no matter how you want to visualize how your internal wall is, so that you would not take your internal wall and your external wall together when you are doing your measurements. So that is the meaning of selecting. So that is how that is that. Okay, now also selection tree, it is very, very important. As a quantity surveyor, that is interested in using Navisworks, when you get a model, you need to first of all look at your selection tree, because if this is what this panel here is what they call selection tree. And because, let me expand this, because the more detailed your selection tree, the easier for your calculations, the easier for you to understand it. So you can, let me close this. Yeah, now you can see this is my home for my selection tree. I have proposed 2 bedrooms. I have no level, some information on no levels, some information on ground levels, some information natural ground levels, some information on ground floor, some information on first floor, and some information of ceiling. Now I always tell people that once I get models, I make sure that I click on the levels. If, for example, I'm clicking on ceiling now, and I'm seeing something being highlighted in blue in probably the gatehouse, I know that probably when doing the design, there's something they call level on Revit. Those levels are not well done by the designers. I'm not a designer, so that is why a QS needs to prepare what they call BIM execution plan. BIM execution plan is just like a document that shows what and what you'll be needing in order for you to execute your BIM project. Okay, so now looking at this, when I click on my ground floor, you can see everything that is on this ground floor is blue. You can see. So when I click on first floor, everything on this first floor is blue, except you can see these features here, except all these features. But everything here is actually on first floor, which is making sense to me. So because when you are doing 4D scheduling, you'll be needing this aspect of informations because it will help you in order to get your workflow easily sorted. Okay, so that is that about your selection tree. So you need to understand your selection tree very well. So also let me expand this. Let me expand this. So under this ground floor, you can see I have something like casework, I have something like doors, I have floors, I have furnitures, I have generic modules, plumbings, walls, and likes. So this shows me the components of every items on my floor, on that particular ground floor. Sometimes there's some item that might be on the first floor that won't be on the second floor. That's how it is very, very obvious. Also, so let's say I want to check more on my doors. Let me see what type of doors am I using here. I can see I have single external trad doors. I have single exterior aluminum doors with side lights. I have aluminum doors 4 panels. I have internal single doors, which is INT single door. I have double external doors. So these are the type of doors in these particular buildings as designed by the architect. Let's say I want to check what is on my floor. Expand also. Okay, I have about 450. They name it a 450 floor, but probably the thickness of that particular floor is a 450 on the ground floor based on the specifications. Okay, based on the specifications. So also I can check on my rooms. So these are this is like just like the room tag on the Revit that you saw earlier on. So you can see kitchen, stores, and the likes. And this helps you when you are doing your finishes, because when you are doing your finishes, you need to know, okay, what is the total quantities for the wet areas, what is total quantities for the normal floor finishes, and you can always decide what you are going to be using based on the finishing schedules by your by the architect. So probably there's a staircase, there's a wall. So let's say on the wall now, you can see I have a basic wall. It's another basic wall. When I expand it more, I have wall 1 and wall 2. So if I click on wall 1, you can see wall 1 is named as external walls here. I can see all the external walls are being highlighted as blue. And when I click on wall 2, you can see all the internal walls going into, if I, let me just, I don't select it. You can see all the internal walls here are the wall 2 based on this design. Go back. Okay. So the selection tree is very, very important because it guides you in how you are going to be doing your measurements. Is there any questions for now? Can I move on? Are we progressing? Are we following? Are we enjoying the class? Am I making sense?
No, we are with you. Thank you.
Okay. 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 I think I will continue. Thank you for that. So let me just reduce this. So now let's say I want to, like I was mentioning earlier on, I was explaining the selection tree here. So like I've already used the hide and unhide button here, which you can see. Also, the next item here is clash detections. Like this is going to be our last item for the class, and we are going to be using that. We are going to be using that. The timelining is for like a 4-day schedules, and this is the quantification. So when you click on, let me go. Let me reduce this. Sorry. Trying to reduce this. Okay. So when you click on, this is a quantification. This is where the major work is being done here. So when you click on quantifications, it brings out these toolbar at the bottoms. So you can see under the quantifications, we have about 3 to 4 major items here. We have the quantification workbook. This is where all your takeoff comes to. You have the resource catalog. The resource catalog is where you can tweak your measurement, because when you started doing measurements on Revit, on Navisworks, you see that nobody will want to model reinforcement for you. Nobody will want to model form work for you, and all those things are very, very important. So on this resource catalog, this is where you are going to be tweaking your measurements from. So you can also say, okay, since the model will automatically generate the concrete for me. So from that concrete element, I can tweak it to get my reinforcement and my formwork depending on what I'm looking for. So Sheet Browser shows you your 2D plan and the likes, but I am going to let you know that how I work when I want to check on my Sheet Browser, I just go back to Revit, look at what I'm saying there, because it's more user friendly for me there. Item catalog here. Item catalog and resource catalog works hand in hand. Item catalog is where you can now create your BESMM for in terms of breakdown, because we all know that whenever we want to do measurements, we have block work. Under the block work, we have internal walls and external walls. So under internal walls, we have probably 225 block work, 150 block work, 1025 the 100 block work, depending on where you are working from. So this breakdown, it's in the BIM environment, they classify them as a unit class and omni class depending on what you are doing. But according to BSMM 4 templates, so you can see they are always in 4 work breakdown structures. So this software too is in line with that. So you can only have 4 breakdown structures in order for you to integrate both things together. Okay, so that is that about quantification here. So all these ones, they are advanced understanding about Navisworks. So when it comes to viewpoint here, viewpoint is probably when you are not working alone, you are working with other construction and other professionals, and you want to mention some queries out, you want to do some queries, you can just take like a snap pictures and send it to whoever you really want to do it. We want to do that too. And also these are other features that you can use to understand your models better. So probably you want to do sectioning, you can only section here on this software. So let's say I want to section here now. Okay, so you can see this is like a section of these particular buildings depending on whatever you want to do, and you can always tweak it depending on. So let's say I want to section from the top. I can see this depending on what you can do. So all these informations here, it is when you are using it, you see the usefulness, because there will be a time that you want to still get a further internal details in whatever you are doing. So now the next item here is the review. We've talked about the home, we talked about the viewpoints. Now we are on the review. So under this review, sometimes you just want to, I do it a lot, you just want to cross-check your measurement, because in any 2D softwares, I use Bluebeam a lot right back. Whenever I get Bluebeams and I want to work, the first thing you do there is to calibrate. Or probably, I think some software like that, you need to calibrate first. But you see, on 3D, on Revit and Navisworks, there's nothing for you to calibrate, because as the model it is being as per design. There's no need for scaling and the likes. So sometimes you just want to check some things. Let's say I want just to check some measurements. You can check some distance, some linear measurements. You can check some area measurement, depending on what you can do. So let's say I just want to check the distance between 2 things. Let's say I want to check what is going to be the width of this door right now. You can just click on that, zoom in a little bit. Okay, put my cursor here and put my cursor here. So I can see that this door is almost about 900 width door, which is reasonable to me. So I can automatically understand that whatever measurement I'm doing here, it's correct. So when you are done with that, you can do area measurement too. So if you want to do area measurements, it's just like your normal something. You just pick round, this and this. So 1.78, depending on whatever you want to do. So this gives you understanding of that, okay, whatever I'm doing here, whatever measurement I'm doing here is as per scale. Because there will be some times that you will see some items that does not have properties. You can just do some on-screen confirmations or corrections, whatever you want to do. Okay. So this is animation. Animation is probably when you are doing advanced simulations. You can always use that. View here. You can most of you when you get your Navisworks, whenever you upload any drawings, any models, you are going to be seeing the grid lines. So you can see the grid line as per the design. So these are the grid lines A, B, and the likes. So I don't usually like working when grid line is there because it makes my works more dirty and more not clean. So we just need to come under this view and toggle on this back, so to remove the show grid, because you might not necessarily need it here except you want to do some checks and the likes. So outputs, you might not really need all this one. BIM 360, probably you are working in a collaborative environment, you can use all this one. So that's basically about the major items, the major toolbars on this Revit, on this Navisworks. So now the next thing for us to now, okay, let's start our quantifications. So now let's start our measurement right now. So when you start your measurement, there's something you need to set up your project. This tool is going to come up. So what we need to do here now is to click on this set of project. Now when you click on set of project, this toolbar automatically comes up. So you can see on my screen I have block work catalog, class 3 catalog. These are based on the trainings I've done earlier in the past and the likes. But now, because this is a new class, we are going to be creating new catalog for our work. Once you create a catalog for a duplex, you might not really need to create a catalog again when you are doing another project like duplex. But when you create a catalog for a commercial building, which is about 5 floors, 6 floors, and the likes, you might not necessarily need to do that again when you are doing a similar commercial project. So when you create a catalog once, it's okay. You might not need to do it again. So we're going to be learning how to create a catalog here. I'm going to be doing it now. So let's say I want to go from scratch now. I'm just starting. So I don't have any catalog here. I click on none. Next. So it's going to be asking us what unit of measurement is it, imperial, metric, and variable. In the Western world, some people, and especially in America, people use imperial. Majorly in British and Nigeria, we use metric. So we go ahead with the metric measurements. Okay, so we'll click on next. Now, I always advise people to just leave this as it and just toggle on this last item, which is show metric and the likes. So you click on next and you click on finish. That is all about the setting up of project on one click on Navisworks. Okay, so now what am I going to measure? Okay, can someone give me any item to measure? Please, I just need your inputs here. Okay, someone says that, please, I would like to know if one can achieve all what you have explained on ArchiCAD models when imported into Navisworks. In nutshell, ArchiCAD is compatible with, yeah, well, I've not really used any modules from ArchiCAD, but if an ArchiCAD have something, an import and an external file extension that you can convert to what we call IFC, Navisworks can read IFC. So if you have a module and you get the external source to be converted to IFC, you can always use it on Navisworks. Okay, So you can always use this on Navisworks. Okay, is anybody saying something again? Go ahead. You are not okay. I think this is the pass. Go ahead with quantifications. Okay. Okay. Let me just. I don't think anybody is saying something again. Okay. Let me just measure. Let me just choose one item to measure. Let's measure. Let's start from the basic. Let me remove this. Let's start from the basic. Let me measure all my internal walls and my external walls in just one click. How can I do that? I'll come to item catalog here. I'll come to new group. So when I'll come to new group, I'll type block work here. So when I come to block work, I'll type new item, new group here. So you can see now I want to create I want to create block work and I want to create external and internal walls. So because internal and external walls, they are under block work, so I will click on one and create a new group under that. But just imagine after typing block work, I click outside my box and I create and click on new group. It will not be under block work. So you need to be careful here whenever you are creating either your main group or your subgroup. In simple terms, if you are creating a subgroup, you click on the main group first and type new group and click on new group. But if you are clicking on another, if you want to start another new group, you just click outside the box and click on your new group and click on your new group. So now let's double tap and double click on this one. We are going to be creating external walls. Sorry. External walls. So now I want to now create another subgroup under my main group of block work. So what I need to do here is to click on block wall, click on new group. So it's going to be internal walls. Okay, so this is, I've already created my main group and my subgroup here. I can delete this now. Okay, so now let's do my measurements for my block work, everything at once. So I'll come here. Okay, another thing, you can always do it per level. You can also say you want to do it first floor block work, second floor block work. So let's do it like that. I can say I can put ground floor block work here. Ground block work, yeah. So I can do ground block work here and do same thing again, new group, first block work, and I create a new group here, a new subgroup. It's going to be external wall. I click on this again, new group, internal walls. So okay, so let's do some measurement right now. Expand this. So I want to do my ground floor block work now, everything at once. So I'll come to my walls, expand. I can see this might not be 100% correct in terms of the positioning. So let's say all wall one, agree that all wall one is external walls and all wall two is internal walls. So click on all wall one. So there are two ways you can do these measurements. Is either you drag or drop, or if I drag and drop, I can only say that okay, come to my quantification here, come to my external wall here. You can either drag here. You can see I drag and drop under my external walls. Sometimes I don't like dragging and dropping because my hand might shake. So I always advise that okay, let's take up for the internal walls right now. So I will click on this on the wall 2 that I want to do, and I will ensure that I've clicked on my internal walls here down here. So I will right click. I will right click here. So you put your mouse here, you right click, and you come to quantifications. So when you come to quantifications, you can see a lot of things here. So you come to quantifications, you come to take off to internal walls. So just imagine I haven't not click here. Let's say I put my cursor was here and I right click here and I put take off to external wall. So it is whatever you want to drop it, ensure that you've already clicked on that item before you go back, you go to your selection tree. So that you not interpret your models. So let's right click here and click on this. Come here, right click, quantifications to internal walls. So I've automatically take off for all my walls on my ground floors. So and the good thing about this is that all walls are taken care of, and considering the areas, all areas has been deducted. All area, this is the building height, 3 meters, 3 meters. What you are need to focus on is the building area here. So it will give you some information you might not necessarily need, which is the volume. You don't really need it here. You need the wall area here. So you can see the wall area per wall. You can see the wall area per wall. So this is not the totals. This is the subgroup which is on it on underneath here. This is not the main group. Now you can see my total wall area for my internal walls here. It is 347.26 square meters for all my internal walls. For all my external walls is 470.98 for all my external walls. Noting that all openings, doors, and windows has been deducted automatically. That is how we can do. Okay, so let's say we want to, let's do for internal wall, let's do for first floor too. So let's do for, we have done for ground floor, so now let's do for first floor. Let's do for first floor. So we come here, let's collapse this back. So we want to do external wall for first floor. So we go down to our first floor, go to walls, we go to basic walls. So wall 1 is all external walls. So right click, quantifications, take off to external walls. That is done. So come to internal walls, quantification, right click, quantifications, take off to internal walls. So this is how we do for all measurements for our walls. Now the good things about this software is that you can always see what you have measured and what I have not measured. So let's say you want to know if you have done all the walls right now. You want to see what you have not measured. Say you can only say show takeoff. This shows you that okay, I've done all these measurements. I've done all these measurements entirely. So let's say I want to know what I've not taken off. I can say I take off. You can say these are, I still have this pergola, I still have the railings, I still have the doors, I still have the MEPs in the likes. So this is the interior aspect of the building. I still have my floor to measure. I still have what again? I still have my roof to measure and the like. So this shows you that I've done these measurements, I have not done this measurement. So this gives you a full confidence that okay, this is what is remaining and this is what is not remaining. So that's another good thing about this. So let's do another measurements again, because for tonight we are just going to be focusing on architectural models. So for tomorrow, we're going to be focusing on structural models for us to understand it. Please, before the class ends, also, I would also like someone to demonstrate what we've done so that I can know that okay, at least one person is getting what we are doing, because that will only make me understand that okay, we are actually learning something. Please, if you feel that you are ready, you have your softwares with you, I would like for you to volunteer so that it will make it more interesting and more insightful. Okay, so I will do some more measurements here. So let's say I want to do my floor measurements here, my floor finishes here. So I can say come to my floor here. This is my under my ground floors, So let me create my under my item catalog. So under my item catalog, I come to new group here. I come to ground floor finish. and I'll create another one, which is first floor finish, and first floor, yeah. Okay, so let's do that. Just drop this ground floor, sorry. Just do this quantification, take also first floor finishes, and under the first floor, you come here. Where's floor? Yeah, drug floor finishes. So let's take us for doors. Let's take off for doors and windows. So let's do doors and windows. So let's do all our doors at once. Is someone saying something on the Q&A? Okay, I think we are good. So let's do all our doors at once. So we are going to name it all doors. And also we are going to have another list which is called all windows. So, okay, so let me just click on one of this, my door. So I'll click on select. The benefit of the select same I mentioned earlier on. So this is here right now. So you're going to click on select same name. You can see all the doors is being highlighted. All the doors is being highlighted. So click on right click on it. Go to our doors. Right click on any of it. So you can see we have it is highlighted on the ground floor, first floor, and the ceiling levels. That is the penthouse. So you can right click on any of it, right click, can take off to all doors. Okay, so let's do the same thing to our windows. You can collapse this, click on this back. So let's say windows, select all windows, select same name. So all windows is being selected. So you right click on, go to one of them, right click on any of them, quantifications, take off to all windows. So all your windows is being taken care of like that. So what again, do you have anything do you want to, any basic things that you want to take off again? Let me see, I don't selected, I'd take off. I take off, okay, what again? Okay, roof, like, yeah, I want to take off for the roof. Okay, so let's go to this. So let's create another group here. We have the roof covering, sorry. You can see roof carcassing, they are not here because people really design for wooden roof carcass, but they design for structural steel carcass. So if it is structural, I've worked on the models that we have structural steel carcass. All I needed to know was the length of my roof and the length of my my carcass and the weight of it, and I converted it. So depending on the models that you are working on. So this is a roof covering. So what I just need to do here, go to my roof. I have my roof here. So right click on it. I can give me my area of my roof without different calculations. So I can see the area of that roof in particular is about 589, including it has taken note of the pitch, the different curvature there. It has taken care of that. So that is that for roof. What that in? Let's take off to see. Okay, I think we have some features. Okay, the roof for this gator, we didn't really take care of that. Okay, railings right now. We need to do railings. We need to do railings. Let's say railings right now. Railings. Let's say handrails, sorry. Handrails. So I can say I want to click on it directly from here. Let me just click directly from okay, this. Click on it directly from here. This is railings. So I can say railings here. Select all railings. Select same name, which is all railings. So you can see all the railings is been highlighted here. So what I just need to do is to right click on one of them, quantifications and rails. So you can see this is your drag and drop you're doing, and your measurements are actually coming out. So that's that about, let's say, let's assume that is all about your architectural models, and we are going to be looking at structural models for tomorrow. So the important thing here is that, okay, we've done all your measurements. Okay, we now need to now export it to Excel, because when I started using Navisworks, when I export to Excel, it always gives me headache. But as time goes on, I come to understand the sheets, because a lot of sheets will be generated. You need to now understand the useful sheets and not the useful sheets. So I just want to know, are we all good to this step? Please, if you want me to go over it again, let me know.
My question is, is there a way that we can take your foundation test using the Navisworks?
Okay.
Because it says that we've worked with the internals and the external work.
Okay.
So,
Great questions. Is there any other questions again? One person is raising up his hand again. Two attendee raising up your hand. Okay. Okay. Amzat. So yeah, you can ask your questions, please. Is someone saying anything?
Good evening, all.
Okay, good evening, ma'am.
Please, like as I drop on a Q&A section, I asked two questions. What kind of drawing should we use? Because most drawing comes either ArchiCAD or AutoCAD. Can we use 2D drawing or 3D drawing? Maybe you are being given a 2 or 3D drawing to check this, or like something like in Plan Swift now, you can just use a JPEG drawing or whatever, but you convert it. So I just want to know, because most drawing comes directly, because it's not all companies that make use of BIM. Maybe you want your work to be easy for you. You have such drawing, you convert it and do your work. Please, that's what I want to know.
Okay, thank you for your questions. I really appreciate.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let me just answer that questions. You can't, if you are talking about Navisworks, you using 2D measurement on Navisworks, it's just like you are going back to the table. You are going back to the where you are coming from Plan Swift or Bluebeam you are using, because it doesn't really amount well when you are doing your measurement. Navisworks is very efficient when you are using a 3D models. And I understand the fact that some companies might not really do it, but the truth is that I tell you for fact is that I still work with some companies in Nigeria currently, and for the last few projects I've been doing for the past 5 months in some companies, they send 3Ds. I understand that you might not get the opportunity right now, but the truth is that you just need to prepare yourself about it. You might not get it right. We might not get to 3D from real clients right now, but the earlier we prepare ourselves for opportunities, it's better for us when it comes to us. The industry is growing. Everybody is thinking outside the box right now. Clients want informations, detailed informations, and the only way to get it right is through having a 3D models. So with time, most drawings are going to be in 3Ds. So I understand that some of us will still get models and drawings in 2D. There's no way you can convert 2D to 3D because you're not an architect. It's not your duty. So you can't necessarily convert 2Ds to 3D. It's not possible. So Navisworks work majorly with 3D models. Okay, so that is the answer to that. The second question is that, okay, we get some drawings from ArchiCAD, like I mentioned earlier on. I don't use ArchiCAD because I'm not a designer. You can get any modules you want to import on Navisworks. you need to ensure number one is a 3D BIM, the 3D models, and also number two, your models is BIM enabled because you can convert it to what we call IFC. We didn't use IFC here because we're using Navisworks and Revit and AutoCAD and Navisworks. That was why we didn't talk about it IFC, but there was a project we worked in while I was in Nigeria then. This structure, the engineers gave us their design. They used Prota structure to design. Yeah, they use a Prota structure to design their tools. What we need to do was to convert to IFC. When you convert anything to IFC, Navisworks will read it very well. So from ArchiCAD, and I understand that ArchiCAD you can convert to IFC. Once you can convert to IFC on ArchiCAD, you can use it on Navisworks. But it's evidence that whenever I want to use Navisworks, I don't think 2D again. I think 3-dimensional. So that answers the second questions. So I think the first question now is for us to go over. Okay. Also, you talk about foundation. Yes. Now you can only calculate. You can only measure what is being designed. Now, what we are doing here is an architectural models. Architectural models don't usually have foundational. Tomorrow, we are going to be looking at pile foundations, or we are going to be looking at pile cap and piles. Like I said earlier on, so tomorrow is for structural. So when we are looking at structural, we are going to be looking at foundations for that. So I don't want to jam-pack us with much things today because what is the essence of we go and we do architectural and structurals and in one day and we end up not learning anything. So that is not a good learning methodology. So by tomorrow, we are going to be looking at how we can do structural measurement from foundations to any other work elements tomorrow. That answers the second question. So the first question is for us to go over what we've done, which I will gladly do. And as I believe that will sharpen our understanding level before we finally round up. Okay, do you have any question again? I can see some people raising up their hand here. Okay, so we start the class by having a basic understanding of how we can use Revit for what we call okay, let me share my Revit. Okay, so we started the class by understanding how we can use Revit for schedules and measurements, and we understand that we have on the properties bar here, we can see how we the floor plans, the roof plans, the 3D, the elevations, and the sectioning as per the design. And also we'll practically understand some basic toolbars on Revit here. And the major item which I wanted us to see here on this Revit is how we can, sorry, let me just check something. Okay, is how we can use Revit to do some little schedules here by, okay, let's say you want to do some schedules, you come to schedules here, you come to schedules and quantities, and oh sorry, come to schedules and quantities, you go to whatever you want to do, either wall, floor, ceiling, roof, or the likes. You click on it here, you just follow the instructions and your schedules will come out, which is going to be in this form, and I also explained that, okay, we can always convert this to text file, which is easily readable in Excel formats. And that's all about how we can use simple Revit for schedules. And I also explained that, I don't know if I mentioned that, we can also because this is Autodesk, Navisworks, and Revit, they are from same product, they are from same company, so it's easier for us to toggle between Autodesk and Revit and Navisworks. So let's say I want to convert this file now to Navisworks. Now what I just need to do is to come to file here, export here, you can see NWC. So NWC is an Navisworks file. So this is the IFC I talked about. So if you are using other softwares and you want to open it on Navisworks or any BIM authoring tools, there's a need for you to have an IFC as a file extension. IFC means Industry Foundation Class. Is like an international standard for any BIM modules or any BIM files. So that is how you can convert it. So when you do that, you can basically go back to your Navisworks, and I practically explain some. Let me reduce this. I practically explain the major two here from the home. Under the home, we have the major items here. We have the selection tree, we have the select same, which we can use to get some informations. We also have the clash detective, which I mentioned that we're going to be looking at next time. We also look at quantifications, which is the major aspect of this training. And also we also looked at the view, under the review here, we also see that okay, we can always do some we can also see that we have some measurements, on-screen measurement we can actually do here. Also, I also mentioned, so that's basic, that's animations, views, and the like. And so under the main aspect here, which is the quantification, we explain that for you to do a quantification, the first thing is for you to set up your project. And after in setting up your project, you build something like catalog. So let's say, for example, now we've saved this catalog now. I want to save this catalog. I want to save this catalog. Now what I just need to do here is to come here. You can see import catalog. If I have an existing catalog for a similar project, export catalog is once I want to export this particular one because I want to use it on a next project. So if I want to do that, I just need to click on it, export it, save it in a demo. Okay, let's say this is a previous training, BIM training. Let's just say waxing, desktop, waxing. So let's say waxing catalog. So I save it. So once I save it there, I can now come, or probably because I will need to close this file. So we are going to reuse that probably in our next session, but we have already saved this particular catalog in case of future purposes. Also, like I mentioned, so for the block wall now, let me just go over is someone saying something? So for the block wall now, let's delete everything. Oh no, we're not deleting everything. Let's just create another one instead of deleting everything, because we are going to export to Excel very soon. Okay, so apply original cut. Okay, so now let's say the block wall right now. Let's do the ground block wall alone, ground floor block wall. So let's delete this. So if I want to delete this, just click on this ground floor, delete, and are you sure? Yes. So let me do that again. So I'll come to item catalog, create new. So I'll say ground block wall. So under this ground block wall, I'll create external and internal. So I'll create this. I'll click on this again.
No, continue.
Okay, thank you. So
Here's my on. Anosike. Shima Christiana.
Okay. No, actually, I'm following up. I thought that he's clicking directly since it's a subgroup. That's why I said no before I now saw that. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you following. Okay, so under the ground floor, so I'll click this new one. It's going to be external wall. So I'll double click on this. It's going to be internal wall. So once I'm done with this, so now let me do the measurement right now. So I'll go to where my block wall is on my ground floor block wall. And my ground floor block wall is here. So I'll go to ground floor. So go to walls base. So Now, block wall 1 is an external wall, so I'll right click quantification. Okay, so come to internal wall 2, right click internal walls. Okay, so that's basically how we can do our measurements before we export to Excel. Do we get same approach again? Does it make sense again? The person that asked that we should go over it.
It's okay.
Okay, thank you. God bless you. So for us to wrap up tonight, we're going to export to Excel. So how do we export to Excel? It's just a simple analogy. You come to here, export quantities to Excel. So now you can see that it says export selected quantities to Excel and export quantities to Excel. So when you have export quantities to Excel, it's everything. When you have export selected quantities to Excel, it's just what you are going. Let's say I want to export first floor finishes alone. That alone is going to be exported. But in this case, I want everything. This is very useful. Probably you've exported at first and you just do some other items and likes. Instead of you to do it, instead of you to export everything again, you can just export that item alone and you are good to go. So let me export everything right now. So export quantities to Excel. So let's say waxing block work. No, waxing architectural models. So it will ask you that would you want to open it? So you click on yes. Great. So now when you have this, you might find it confusing when you have it, when you export at first. So you can see all data's resource pivot table, items row, item pivot tables, group rows, and group pivot tables. So the interpretation of this is of the all data, as the name implies, it includes all your groups and all your breakdowns. Yes, all your breakdowns. That's where you can have it. So when I get measurements, I just come here, I right click and hide. Now, this resource row, when we are doing structural models tomorrow, where we are adding reinforcement parameters and formwork parameters, your answer, your report is going to come to this page. This page is empty now because we have not added anything there. So what I will just need to do, come here and hide. So same thing to here, come here and hide. Now item row is like the breakdown of this group. So I don't usually use item row table. I come here and hide. I come to pivot table also and hide. So the major table I use here is the group row. So let me do something. Let me unhide the item row. So you can see the total number of items on this page here, on this sheet here, is running to about 360 line items of data. But look at this group here, it's just 34. So the summary of this item is this group. So I always advise persons to just use the group row, which is easier for everybody to easily interpret. So right now, let me just say I want to get all my, you can see now, that is when your Excel skills comes in, which is sorting and filtering. So let's say I want to get all my Andres linear meter. What I just need to come here, come to Andres, come to my length. So this here, my total length of Andrews here is 97. Is 97.18. And you can see we have different type of Andrews. So you can still filter down, we have by 900 steel wire pipe, and we have this Nordic top mounted Andre. So depending on what you are doing, and you have your build descriptions already, so you just need to do is put these quantities here underneath here, 37.18 for this Nordic top rail, put it in your bills, and same thing to here. You for the second one, that is 900 steel, you put it in your bill. That's how you can get your quantity, exact quantity out from your Navisworks to your bill for your architectural models. So it's similar to your structural model. Let's say you want to do your block work too. Let's say on filter select, or so let's say it's your block work you want to do now. You just come to where's your ground floor block wall, first floor block wall. You want to do get everything at once. So you can see you have external walls and internal walls. So you just need to say, okay, filter by external walls. You can see, okay, this is all my external walls. This is the area. Where is it? So you can see your area here. This is the area of all my external walls, and you can do same thing for your internal walls. You can see where is my total of my internal walls. So this is my total of my internal walls. Depending on how you break it down, either by 230 by 150, depending, you can only see the breakdown here, which is, and the area for internal wall here is 692. So that's basically how you can do your quantifications of architectural models from Navisworks. Do we have any questions up to this stage? Hi guys. Do you have any question up to this stage?
No.
Sorry, my question is,
Okay.
can we use Navisworks for like MEP?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are going to be doing that in subsequent sessions. Okay. Someone is actually raising up your hand. Saul, Modi Saul, you can actually unmute yourself and ask your questions directly. Okay. Is there any questions before we just round up? Okay, you can ask your questions. Ibinan Nobi, Lawson, you can ask your questions, please. Yeah, you can ask your questions. I'm here to answer your questions. You are raising up your hand, except that's a mistake. Okay, I think it's a mistake then. Okay, so that is our schedules for today's session. So like I said earlier on, by tomorrow we're going to be recapping on what you did today, and also we're going to be looking at how we can use it for structural models tomorrow. But I would love to, if there's anybody that can't, if it's possible, there's anybody that can volunteer to share his or her screen just to carry us on what we've done. I can easily share the models on these charts. Which you can use right now. Let me share it right now. Okay. This is the simple models. You can always, if anybody is willing and is able, the beautiful thing about practicalizing things like this on this stage is you can never forget it. And any mistake you make, you can never make that mistake again. This is just like this file is just like 5 point something MB. If you are willing to demonstrate what we've done today, it will be cool for you and betterment for everyone. Is there anybody that can volunteer? Do we have anybody in the house to volunteer? Do we have anyone to volunteer?
Well, I was thinking maybe if not now, it could be first thing tomorrow before the session starts. But that's
Okay,
if no one volunteers today. So we can all go back and digest what has been put
done.
out
Oh,
today.
okay,
And that will be
okay,
like a mini take-home assignment for tomorrow before
okay.
the class for tomorrow commences.
Okay, so that's fine by me. So I will also share the second duplex modules. This is an MEP, but we can just take a look at this tomorrow, before the class tomorrow. Let me just share both modules on this platform. These are MEP modules that we can use tomorrow. And this is also the duplex I used. We can use these two. These are simple modules. We can use these two modules to practice what we've learned today. And for tomorrow sessions, I would love someone to try to demonstrate what we've done, and I will guide the person through. So I really appreciate you for your time tonight, and I just hope you have a wonderful night. If there is no any other question, so I'll try to hand over now to QS Temide back for her to round up for us.
Thank you so very
Thank you,
much,
everyone.
QS Usman. Sorry, we seem to have a very restless participant in the background. Thank you so very much, QS Usman, for that session. I know you've given us a take-home assignment. So hopefully we would have one or two persons demonstrate what has been taught tomorrow before the session tomorrow.
Thank you.
We're indeed very grateful for your time and your sacrifice for painstakingly taking out time to break down this session. And I like that you made it very interactive. So just for all of us out there, as you have seen, his style of teaching is a very interactive one. So let's be mindful of how we raise our arms and all that. Especially, I noticed that there were lots of arms raised in error so that it doesn't interrupt the session or distract him while he thinks that you may have a question. But by and large, it was an interesting one, and we really appreciate you for your time. Thank you to everyone that joined in. Thank you to everyone that stayed up until now. Thank you to all those that asked questions, and thank you to everyone else that just logged in and gave us the boost of confidence with the numbers. We're indeed very grateful, and we hope to see you tomorrow, same time, with a better, more refreshing energy and more attention span. I mean, I wouldn't say the attention span was 100%, but I would say that we did lose some people during some certain times of the session. So thank you once again, everyone, and see you all bright and early tomorrow by 8 o'clock.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
good night,
much.
first,
Good
everyone.
night. Yeah.
And Usman, you could also send me the files so we can drop on the general platform for those that did not connect to this session, so they can have a copy of it to work on. Thank you once again, everyone, and have a good night rest.
Yeah, bye.
Yes, bye.